Drake is done for. The entire music industry just witnessed something that has never happened in hip-hop history. We're talking about a complete and total annihilation, a career-ending meltdown so catastrophic that it's got the internet absolutely spinning. Because what Drake did after losing to Kendrick Lamar, it didn't just destroy his reputation, it might destroy the entire culture of hip-hop forever. And the evidence that just surfaced, it's about to blow your mind. Everybody thought they knew the full story about this Drake versus Kendrick battle. Drake got destroyed in a rap beef. He took the L. That was supposed to be the end of it, right? That was the version everyone kept repeating online. But now, new court documents, leaked testimonies, and insider revelations got the whole narrative twisting in ways nobody saw coming. Because this isn't just about a rap battle anymore. This is about a man who believed he was untouchable, who thought money and industry power could rewrite reality itself. And when that illusion shattered, he did something so desperate, so unprecedented, that it exposed everything wrong with modern celebrity culture. Let me break this down from the beginning, because what you're about to hear is straight insane. So here's where it all fell apart for Drake. Kendrick Lamar didn't just release a diss track, he released 5 tracks that systematically dismantled every aspect of Drake's image, his credibility, and his entire career narrative. Not Like Us wasn't just a song, it was a cultural execution. Kendrick called Drake a certified PDF file. He exposed the ghostwriting. He brought up the plastic surgery rumors. He questions Drake's relationship with underage girls. And he did it all with receipts that the internet had been collecting for years. Now, TMZ just dropped footage analysis that shows exactly how calculated this attack was. Fans online turned into full-blown investigators, pulling up old interviews, concert footage, text message screenshots, everything. They're slowing down frames, zooming in on body language, comparing Drake's responses across different eras. And what they found, it's damning. Let's talk about the ghostwriting first. Back in 2015, reference tracks from Quentin Miller leaked online. These weren't just similar melodies, these were complete verses, flow patterns, entire song structures that Drake later released under his own name. For anyone who doesn't know, a reference track is when another artist records a demo version so the main artist can copy it exactly. That means Drake's authentic persona, the whole started from the bottom narrative, it was manufactured. But it gets even crazier. Sean Garrett, a legendary songwriter who's worked with Beyoncé, Usher, and Nicki Minaj, publicly stated, "I had to wait for the public to catch up to the fact that this dude Drake was lying about writing his own music." Think about that. Industry insiders knew. They all knew. And they stayed quiet because Drake made them too much money. Online detectives took this to a whole new level, digging into every collaboration Drake ever did. They started studying production credits, songwriter attributions, and patterns in his music releases. They noticed something wild. Every time Drake changed his sound, it coincided with him working with a new artist from that region or genre. Caribbean sound? He was hanging with Popcan. UK drill? He brought in UK artists. Afrobeats? Suddenly, he's collaborating with WizKid. Folks online swear he's not evolving as an artist, he's just absorbing other people's cultures and sounds, then discarding them when the trend moves on. And the evidence keeps stacking. Joe Budden, a rapper and media personality who's been calling out Drake for years, broke down the entire pattern on his podcast. He said, Drake is a culture vulture. He uses people, takes what he needs from them, and then discards them like trash. The Weeknd gave Drake half of his album for Take Care. That project made Drake's career. Years later, their relationship soured when Drake allegedly tried to steal The Weeknd's entire aesthetic. The Weeknd's cryptic lyrics on later albums? Too many people think they made me. If they really made me, then replace me. That's not just shade, that's a direct shot at Drake. But here's where it gets really dark. The allegations about Drake's behavior with underage girls aren't new. They've been circulating online for years. Kendrick didn't create these claims. He amplified what the internet had been screaming about for a decade. Documented evidence shows Drake texted Millie Brown Bedley when she was 14. She confirmed this in interviews, saying they had a close friendship and he gave her advice about boys. The internet immediately went, why is a 31-year-old man texting a 14-year-old about relationships? Viral footage from a 2010 concert shows Drake kissing a 17-year-old fan on stage. After learning her age, he says, "I can't go to jail yet, man." Then he kisses her again. That video has millions of views now, and people are analyzing his exact words, his body language, the way he laughed it off. Connections to Billie Eilish when she was a minor, photographed interactions with Hailey Baldwin before she turned 18, a pattern that, when laid out in sequence, looks absolutely terrifying. Kendrick's line, "certified PDF file," wasn't random. It was a reference to something the internet had been documenting for a decade. And Drake's response to all of this? He didn't release a better diss track. He didn't address the allegations with music. He did something no rapper in history has ever done. He sued Kendrick Lamar and Universal Music Group in federal court.
Now let's get into the motive, because this is where everything starts clicking into place. Drake believed he was untouchable. And honestly, for over a decade, he was right. He dominated the charts, he broke streaming records, he had the entire music industry in his pocket because he made Universal Music Group billions of dollars. But that kind of power creates a dangerous mindset. Drake started believing that money equals control, that corporate influence could silence competition, that he could start a rap battle, lose, and then use legal systems to rewrite the outcome. Think about it. Drake released tailor-made freestyle using AI-generated voices of Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg to mock Kendrick. He invited this war. He threw the first punch. And when Kendrick responded with 5 tracks that systematically destroyed him, Drake ran to the courts crying about defamation. The lawsuit claims that Not Like Us damaged his reputation through false allegations and industry conspiracy. Drake argued that Universal Music Group used bots and payola to artificially inflate the song's success because they wanted to destroy his career. Let me repeat that. Drake, the artist who built his entire career on industry manipulation, playlist placements, and corporate backing, is now claiming the system turned against him. The irony is insane. But here's the thing. This lawsuit reveals something way deeper than just Drake being a sore loser. It exposes his entire worldview. He genuinely believed that UMG would censor Kendrick Lamar to protect Drake's image. He thought his financial value meant the label would silence a competitor. When UMG refused and instead promoted Not Like Us like any other hit song, Drake's mind shattered. Legal documents show that Drake's team approached Universal executives multiple times asking them to remove the track from streaming platforms. They claimed it was defamatory, harmful, and violated Drake's rights. UMG's response? That's not how this works. This is a rap battle. These are opinions expressed in an artistic format. And that's when Drake filed the lawsuit. Not because he thought he'd win, but because he wanted to create doubt. He wanted to rewrite the narrative. He wanted people to think maybe Kendrick's claims weren't true. Maybe Drake was the victim of a conspiracy. But the judge obliterated that argument. The ruling stated that Kendrick's lyrics were opinion in the context of a competitive rap battle, and that Drake willingly participated in this public exchange. The judge essentially said, you can't start a war, lose, and then cry about the consequences. That ruling came down in late 2025. Drake's response? He appealed in January 2026, refusing to let go, desperately clinging to a legal strategy that experts say has virtually zero chance of success. Now, let's talk about Drake's career trajectory, because this context is crucial. Back in his peak era, 2015 to 2018, Drake was pulling in an estimated $200 million annually from touring, streaming, endorsements, and business ventures. He was everywhere, every playlist, every radio station, every club. But something shifted after 2020. His album started getting mixed reviews. Fans noticed the repetitive themes, the ghostwriting allegations kept resurfacing, and younger artists started dominating the charts with fresh sounds. Certified Lover Boy in 2021 got criticized for being bloated and uninspired. Honestly, Nevermind in 2022 confused fans with its house music pivot. For All the Dogs in 2023 was met with indifference. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar released Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers in 2022, a critically acclaimed album that won multiple Grammys. He became the first rapper to win a Pulitzer Prize for music. His artistry was being celebrated while Drake's was being questioned. That kind of comparison, that can spark some real envy fast. And it gets worse for Drake. His recent financial moves suggest desperation. Reports say he's been liquidating assets, selling properties, and renegotiating contracts. His OVO brand, once valued at hundreds of millions, has seen declining merchandise sales. His whiskey brand, Virginia Black, got quietly discontinued. Put all that together, declining relevance, financial pressure, younger competition, and a public that's starting to see through the manufactured image, and it looks like the perfect recipe for a complete meltdown. But Drake's biggest mistake? He thought the courts could save him. He thought legal intimidation could silence Kendrick. He thought money could rewrite hip-hop culture. And that's where he crossed the line that can't be uncrossed.
But here's the part that really hits different. The people who got caught up in the middle of all this chaos weren't just Drake and Kendrick. Innocent people got dragged into a situation they had nothing to do with. Drake's lawsuit named Universal Music Group as a defendant. That means the label that made him, the executives who built his career, the same people who turned him into a global superstar, were now being accused of conspiracy to destroy him. Think about the employees at UMG who worked on Drake's projects for over a decade, the A&R reps who discovered him, the marketing teams who promoted his albums, the playlist curators who gave him prime placement. All of them suddenly caught in the crossfire of a lawsuit that claims they betrayed him. And for what? Because they refused to censor another artist? Because they treated Not Like Us like they treat any other hit song? Because they wouldn't compromise artistic freedom to protect one man's ego? That's somebody's career on the line. That's people dealing with legal stress and professional uncertainty because Drake couldn't handle losing a rap battle. But it goes deeper than that. Kendrick Lamar's family started receiving threats online from Drake fans who refused to accept reality. His wife, Whitney Alford, had her social media accounts flooded with harassment. People were digging into her past, posting her address, making violent comments. That's messed up. These are real people with real lives, and they're being terrorized because their partner won a music competition. The leaked footage from Kendrick's Super Bowl rehearsals shows security teams surrounding him at all times. You can see the tension in his body language, the way he checks his surroundings constantly. That's not the behavior of someone celebrating a victory. That's someone who knows they're in danger. And honestly, that's the cost of speaking truth in an industry that profits from lies. Drake's fans created a toxic environment where questioning his idol became a risk, where analyzing his music critically meant facing online mobs, where supporting Kendrick meant being labeled a hater and getting doxxed. This isn't just entertainment anymore. This is a cautionary tale about parasocial relationships gone wrong, about fans who can't separate artist from art, about celebrity worship that turns into dangerous cult behavior. And the saddest part? Drake encouraged this. His social media posts during the battle were designed to mobilize his fan base against Kendrick. He posted cryptic messages, liked comments attacking Kendrick's family, and amplified conspiracy theories that painted himself as a victim. That's not leadership. That's manipulation.
Now, while Drake was drowning in legal paperwork and fan delusion, Kendrick Lamar was preparing for the biggest moment of his career, the Super Bowl LIX halftime show. And what he did on that stage, it wasn't just a performance, it was a cultural statement. Kendrick opened with Not Like Us, the same song Drake tried to have removed from streaming platforms, the same track that Drake's lawsuit claimed was defamatory and harmful. Kendrick performed it on the biggest stage in the world, in front of 70,000 people in the stadium and over 120 million watching on television. Let that sink in. Drake was in court arguing the song should be censored. Kendrick put it on the Super Bowl. But here's what made it truly devastating.
Kendrick didn't just perform the song, he turned it into a visual masterpiece that celebrated West Coast culture, unity, and authenticity. He brought out local artists, he showcased LA neighborhoods, he performed without backing tracks, proving his talent is real. And the entire time, the lyrics were crystal clear, "They not like us." Social media exploded. Within hours, Not Like Us surged back to #1 on streaming charts. The song that Drake tried to kill became more popular because of his failed attempts to silence it. The numbers don't lie. Not Like Us broke Drake's own streaming record with 12 million streams in one day, organically, without industry manipulation, without bots, without payola, just pure cultural impact. Meanwhile, Drake's recent releases were getting brutal reception. His response tracks to Kendrick flopped within days. His live streams got low engagement. His social media posts were met with mockery instead of support. Industry analysts started asking a question that would have been unthinkable just 2 years ago. Is Drake still relevant? And the answer, it's complicated. Because Drake still has fans, he still has money, he still has industry connections, but he lost something far more valuable. He lost respect. Hip-hop culture is built on competition, on battling, on proving yourself through skill and artistry. Drake tried to bypass all of that by using courts and corporations. And in doing so, he violated the unwritten rules that make hip-hop what it is. Charlemagne the God said it best. You can't be the biggest artist in the world and also play victim. You can't dominate the industry for a decade and then cry conspiracy when someone outperforms you. That's not how this works. But Drake's receipt delusion runs deeper than anyone realized. His appeal filing in January 2026 included arguments that are genuinely shocking. He claimed that Kendrick's Super Bowl performance was further evidence of industry conspiracy because the NFL chose Kendrick over other artists. Think about that logic. Drake is arguing that Kendrick getting the Super Bowl, one of the most prestigious performance opportunities in music, is proof of a conspiracy against Drake. Not that Kendrick earned it through talent, not that Not Like Us was the biggest song of the year, but that the entire entertainment industry is conspiring to destroy Drake's career. That's not legal strategy, that's paranoia. Now, this whole situation gets even crazier when you realize Drake's pattern of behavior goes back years. This isn't the first time he's tried to use industry power to silence competition. Remember Pusha T? In 2018, Pusha released Story of a Didon, a diss track that exposed Drake's secret son and leaked blackface photos from an old photo shoot. That track was so devastating that it forced Drake to publicly acknowledge his child for the first time. Drake's response? He never released a reply track. According to leaks, he tried to have his label remove Story of a Didon from streaming platforms. They refused. Then Jay Prince, a legendary Houston music executive, told Drake not to respond because Pusha had more information ready to drop. Translation: Drake only fights battles he thinks he can win through industry power, not talent. And that pattern repeats throughout his career. When Meek Mill called out Drake's ghostwriting in 2015, Drake responded with diss tracks, but he also had his label push those tracks to every major playlist, while Meek's responses got minimal promotion. When The Weeknd gave Drake half of his debut album for Take Care, those songs made Drake's career. Years later, their relationship soured when Drake allegedly tried to steal The Weeknd's sound and aesthetic for his own projects. Industry rumors suggest The Weeknd has been waiting for Drake's downfall, that he celebrated privately when Kendrick destroyed him, that he's been collecting receipts for years, ready to expose everything if Drake ever comes for him publicly. And then there's the OVO mole conspiracy. Kendrick's track 616 in LA suggested he had a spy inside Drake's camp feeding him information. Drake became paranoid, reportedly investigating his own team, creating a toxic work environment where no one could be trusted. Insiders claim Drake's inner circle collapsed after that psychological warfare tactic. People started quitting, loyalty shifted. The OVO brand, once seen as a tight-knit family, became known as a place of suspicion and fear. But here's the darkest part of all this: the plastic surgery allegations. Multiple sources, including Joe Budden and celebrity gossip accounts, claimed Drake had liposuction twice from celebrity plastic surgeon Dr. Michael Saushauer. His
abs are allegedly surgically sculpted, meaning his entire tough guy fitness image is a complete fabrication. The same way his started from the bottom narrative was a lie, his physical appearance is manufactured too. Drake grew up in Forest Hill, Toronto, an affluent neighborhood. He attended private Jewish school. His mother was an educator providing stable middle-class life. He was a child actor on Degrassi, making money before rap. Started from the bottom was a marketing lie to create a struggle narrative he never experienced. Meanwhile, Kendrick actually grew up in Compton, surrounded by gang violence and poverty. Kendrick's stories are real, Drake's are fiction. And the internet has been documenting all of this for years. Fans have created entire YouTube channels dedicated to exposing Drake's lies, Reddit threads with thousands of comments breaking down every inconsistency, Twitter accounts that post receipts daily. Kendrick didn't invent these criticisms. He just had the platform and the skill to weaponize them in a way that couldn't be ignored.
And this story is still unfolding, with way bigger implications than just one celebrity meltdown. What we're seeing here is a fundamental crisis in hip-hop culture. Drake's lawsuit isn't just about him losing a battle. It's about whether money and corporations can control artistic expression. It's about whether rap battles, a foundational element of hip-hop, can be weaponized in court. Legal experts are horrified by the precedent this could set. If Drake somehow wins this appeal, it means every diss track becomes a potential lawsuit. Every competitive lyric could be labeled defamation. Corporate lawyers will control what artists can say about each other. Hip-hop as we know it dies. Think about the history of this culture. Rap battles built careers. They separated the real from the fake. They gave voice to communities that had been silenced. From the parks of the Bronx to global stadiums, hip-hop thrived because it was raw, unfiltered, and authentic. Drake's lawsuit threatens all of that. It says, if you're rich enough, you can silence your critics. If you're powerful enough, you can rewrite the rules. And that's why the entire industry is watching this case so closely. Because if Drake wins, it doesn't just affect him and Kendrick. It affects every artist who wants to speak truth, challenge power, or compete at the highest level. The bigger conversation is about responsibility in the age of social media. When you constantly post your life online, flex your wealth, and build a persona based on being untouchable, you're not just entertaining people, you're unintentionally creating a target on your back. Drake's situation is a wild example, but it's also a warning for anybody with massive online followings. The more you perform invincibility, the more people will want to see you fall. The higher you climb, the harder the crash. And honestly, Drake's crash has been brutal to watch. Not because people hate him personally, but because he represents everything wrong with modern celebrity culture. The fake personas, the manufactured authenticity, the belief that money can buy respect. Kendrick Lamar represents the opposite. He's a Pulitzer Prize-winning artist who writes every bar himself. He's never been accused of using ghostwriters. He's never tried to silence competitors through legal threats. He lets his music speak. And that's why Not Like Us resonated so deeply with fans. It wasn't just a diss track. It was a rejection of everything Drake represents, a statement that authenticity still matters, that skill still matters, that you can't buy your way to greatness. The numbers prove it. Not Like Us became the biggest hip-hop hit of the 2020s. It was played at the Democratic National Convention. It was performed at the Super Bowl. It became a cultural anthem that transcended rap beef and became a movement. Meanwhile, Drake's recent tracks have been forgotten within days of release. His live streams get mocked. His social media posts are met with jokes about the lawsuit. His fans are in denial, creating elaborate conspiracy theories to explain why their idol lost. He's playing 4D chess. The red button will change everything. He's about to expose the industry. Every big moment they hype flops, but they keep rewriting history, claiming the battle was tied or that Kendrick didn't really win. The truth they can't accept: their hero got stomped in front of the world, and it was long overdue.
So what happens next? Where does the story go from here? Drake's appeal was scheduled for hearings throughout 2026. Legal experts universally agree he's going to lose every aspect of this. You don't sue over a rap battle and come out looking like anything other than a coward and a traitor to hip-hop culture. But here's the thing, Drake doesn't care about winning anymore. This lawsuit isn't about vindication, it's about rewriting the narrative, creating doubt, using legal fees to punish Universal Music Group for not protecting it. It's a scorched earth strategy. And it's terrifying because it shows how far someone will go when their ego is shattered. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar is preparing for a world tour. His album GNX became the highest-selling rap album of 2024. His Super Bowl performance is being called the greatest halftime show in history. He's winning Grammys, breaking records, and cementing his legacy as one of the greatest artists of all time. And every time Drake mentions the lawsuit or tries to fight back, Not Like Us surges back up the charts. He's trapped in a cycle where his own desperation amplifies the song that destroyed him. The ultimate irony? Drake's own words condemn him. On that 2010 concert video where he kissed a 17-year-old, "I can't go to jail yet, man." His own admission of inappropriate behavior. On Tailor-Made Freestyle, he invited Kendrick to call him out using AI-generated Tupac. In his lawsuit, he admits he expected special treatment to silence competitors. Every piece of evidence used against him, he provided it himself. This isn't Kendrick destroying Drake, it's Drake destroying himself while Kendrick holds up the mirror. And that's the tragedy of this whole situation. Drake had everything, the talent, the platform, the resources, but instead of evolving as an artist, he became complacent. Instead of embracing competition, he tried to eliminate it. Instead of accepting loss with grace, he weaponized the legal system. And now, he's going to be remembered not as the greatest, but as the artist who betrayed hip-hop culture, the man who tried to destroy freedom of speech and music because he couldn't handle losing a battle he started. Meanwhile, Kendrick will be immortalized as the artist who saved hip-hop from corporate takeover and fake artistry, the one who reminded the world that skill matters, that authenticity matters, that you can't buy respect, you have to earn it. Stay locked in because this story is about to get even crazier. More court documents dropping, more industry insiders speaking out. Reports say Drake's team is preparing a final legal strategy that could shock everyone. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Drake will ever recover from this, or is his career permanently damaged? And do you think Kendrick Lamar is the greatest rapper of this generation? Make sure you like this video, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update, because we're covering every twist that comes out of this situation. This is bigger than just celebrity drama. This is about the future of hip-hop culture. I appreciate you for rocking with me through this whole breakdown, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. And remember, in a world of manufactured personas and fake narratives, authenticity always wins in the end.